Anything from that loss, Mark, that maybe gave you any long-term concerns after the review of that game at the midway point of league play?
No. But that's my first ever one-word answer.
Wait, mark it down.
But anything that you feel like were the positives despite the loss from that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of learning. Like so much we can learn from it. It's fun actually. Teams are playing us way different than they're kind of scouting their defenses. You can kind of throw it out the window because everybody plays us so much different than they normally do, and so there's a lot for us to learn from that. There's a lot for us to learn from being very specific about what we try and lean into. There's stuff for us to take, in terms of not letting one side of the ball affect the other. There's some rotation stuff for us to take into account. There's some transition, with different styles of play guarding us. One of the learning curves for us is we might have a really good offensive attack with a certain personnel group against a certain style of defense, but when we have a different personnel group, it might be more complicated. So tons of stuff to learn for sure. It's fun. That's the fun part.
Did you envision that you'd have to almost change your identity on offense, reinvent yourselves so many times?
No, but I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll serve us well as we move forward. I think what we do is we have really intelligent guys that are really curious. I think we have a curious team actually, a bunch of guys that like kind of figuring out the game, which fits me really well too, because I like it's the way we're going to find a way to be successful, and so. It's certainly challenging for sure, and it's put us a little bit behind in some spaces where I wish we weren't. But I think hopefully it'll pay dividends in the second half of the season. We'll see if we can make it pay dividends, but hopefully we'll be more versatile and able to do more different things and really comfortable with seeing different things.
Is that more different than the West Conference in terms of how teams would play you? Are Big 12 teams more willing to try something different, maybe?
Yeah, and we're also super hyperbolic right now too. Like we're pushing the envelope in terms of what we throw on the table, and so I think it's both. I think it's both actually. I think it's the league's capability to be more responsive, more versatile, and I think it's us pushing the envelope a little farther that begs you to change how you're approaching things.
Mark, there's been some pockets of the college basketball talking heads in the world saying the Big 12 game the system, like in a non-conference with weaker schedules, and maybe it's not the best league in America. Just being at the midway point and kind of getting into the heart of this schedule, what would you kind of say is your evaluation of this league and where it stacks as among the best leagues?
I think those people are crazy. Like we get to live it every day. This league's pretty extraordinary, and I think that the teams are pretty well tested and proven, and it's pretty awesome.
What's the status?
But I'm not saying that in terms of offending anybody. Maybe I shouldn't say crazy because people might take that too serious. I think that come to the games, be a part of the deal. It's really pretty extraordinary.
What's the status of Ali Khalifa for Saturday night?
I don't know. It's a performance team question, but we're hopeful. I think we're hopeful.
On Saturday, facing K-State, opposing bench can be Jerome Ting. Did you guys have a chance to clear the air with some of the exchange comments that he had back in the summer?
Yeah. I talked to Jerome that night. We were actually traveling internationally, and everyone's trying to do the best that they can to take care of their program. And actually, I'm a huge fan of his. I think that he is good for the game of basketball. I think he's good for his guys, and I think that that's what I think.
Dallin's been consistent all year. What is it about the last two games that's really got him going? He's like in a groove.
Yeah, he's it's super interesting because he's seeing different stuff every game too, really different things, and he's also dealing with a different personnel set on the court relatively consistently, and he's been terrific, right? He poses a lot of problems, and he makes people ask hard questions about how they're going to approach the game with him, and he's been really, really good.
Anybody figure out why Noah got sick all of a sudden?
Well, it's kind of been the whole team. He just probably hit him as hard as anybody.
Wasn't food poisoning or anything like that?
No. He was. Yeah, I wish, because that would have been shorter term.
Yeah.
But he was not feeling well for a while.
Mark, I wanted to ask you about the contributions Colin Terry has brought to your program his first year. He's a guy that's got BYU ties, but just what maybe he's brought to this program.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He is, he's had an unbelievable education. It's interesting when you move to that league. That league is just pure basketball 24/7. It's just basketball, right? And that is not the case for us. Our jobs are way more diverse, and so he's brought a certain level of expertise. He's great with film. He's great at teaching. He's got a real patience about him and kind of a calmness about him that's, I think, really special. He's been terrific in a ton of ways.
Is there a question? Is there a specific thing that you kind of task him with within this kind of structure?
Yeah, he's got a lot right now. So he's been we're certainly doing a lot on the recruiting side and the scouting side and the player development side, and he's kind of been one of the leading voices in our attack on the offensive and defensive glass. We're a pretty community effort group, and he's kind of have his hands on a lot of things there for us.
Last question.
What does Kansas State? What challenges do they present for you guys?
Yeah, I mean they're a good team. I mean they just beat Kansas. It seems like we always play the guys sometime soon after they beat Kansas. They are a good team with a ton of energy. Their backcourt is really explosive at the 1, 2, and 3. Really, really explosive scorers. 3 guys that can go get their own basket at all 3 levels. Can make really, really hard shots. Play with some pace. Know exactly what they're trying to get accomplished. And they really complement each other well too. They have real speed and athleticism. They got unbelievable sense of skill, and they have some size and length between those 3 kind of backcourt guys, and then they're tenacious on the glass with their bigs. Bigs are great screeners. Rollers can hurt you around the rim, run the floor really, really hard, and so they're a well put together, well thought out team. Coming off an Elite 8 year, and so it's another great team. I mean it's super exciting. This Coach Fox is one of my mentors, probably my real godfather of my mentors in this game, because he gave me my first job as a non-coach in basketball, and he's a K-State guy. It's like his school. So ever since I was shooting with him, 2 hours after practice in the gym at the University of Washington when he was a GA and I was a rookie. I've been hearing stories of K-State and legendary K-State this and K-State that and K-State whatever. And so, clearly Jerome's done a great job with that program, and I've been indoctrinated fully by a former coach of mine, and so we're super excited for the game, and we're glad it's at home too.
Okay.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.